cool chains are a big business at the moment, as well as e-commerce. So I think we should have a focus on that to further improve our products and to add further pieces to that part of the business, to our Cool and Fly product. Secondly, I think that One Record will make a change, make a difference. The current information processing is based on a 50 years old messaging system implemented by our grandparents, on textual basis. So this is completely outdated. And in my former position, I pushed forward the One Record initiative out of an airline's perspective. And so 1st of January 2026, One Record should be the new standard. And I try to have a look on that, whether we can implement One Record solutions also for our ULD management.
Hi everybody, this is Libin, Chacko, Kurian from Stat Media Group. We are here in Shanghai for Air Cargo China 2024. I'm right now sitting for a video interview with a very important person. He's the new Chief Executive Officer of Jettainer, the ULD solutions provider. And Jettainer is a wholly owned subsidiary of Lufthansa Cargo, and it operates more than 100,000 ULDs in around 500 locations throughout the world. Jan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for being part of the interview.
Let's start by talking about your career. You have spent last 14 years of your career in Lufthansa Cargo, and you have been into initiating digital transformation and process improvements. Give us an idea about how this experience will really help you in the new assignment as a CEO of Jettainer.
Yeah, and you're right. I worked as a responsible person for global handling management and global customer service at Lufthansa Cargo. And out of this position, we drove the digitization initiative, the big ones like 100% electronic airway bill or One Record. I think in that field we were under the leading carrier of the planet. And I was also the customer of Jettainer. So I have the customer view, how a big airline group deals with Jettainer and also the ULD management. And we were very happy about that service. And this is very important for my position now, because I have, to a certain extent, the customer view. And my team is very professional to deal with airline customers, but it's always a little different if the customer is sitting to a certain extent at the table. So this will be definitely one thing I want to bring in. The second is, of course, my background in digitization. And that started also more than 20 years ago with Lufthansa Passage, where my team introduced the mobile boarding pass, for example. So digitalization is a part of my DNA. And I see there are a lot of opportunities to bring forward the container management business with digitalization.
Give us an idea about how you view Jettainer as a ULD solutions provider, and what is your vision for this particular company?
Well, it's too early to have the big vision after 3 weeks in that position, and already I gather a lot of information from my team, from our customers. So I really want to understand what they are motivated. But of course, there are some topics which can be of big interest. So of course, cool chains are a big business at the moment, as well as e-commerce. So I think we should have a focus on that to further improve our products and to add further pieces to that part of the business, to our Cool and Fly product. Secondly, I think that One Record will make a change, make a difference. The current information processing is based on a 50 years old messaging system implemented by our grandparents, on textual basis. So this is completely outdated. And in my former position, I pushed forward the One Record initiative out of an airline's perspective. And so 1st of January 2026, One Record should be the new standard. And I try to have a look on that, whether we can implement One Record solutions also for our ULD management, to provide customers with much more deeper information about the ULD as an piece of Internet of Things.
Okay, that's interesting. In November 2023, Jettainer signed an agreement with Pactel West, which is a terminal here in Shanghai Pudong International Airport. Give us an idea about what does it mean for Jettainer, because this is your fourth hub, I could see, for the leasing service. You already have it in Frankfurt, Abu Dhabi, Hong Kong, and now in Shanghai. Why Shanghai?
Well, of course, China and Asia in general is the place to be. It's a very vivid region in the world and fast growing. So we want to be here. And the Lease and Fly product is our entry product, yeah, to get in touch with airlines, to show them what we are able to do, to how we perform. And this is so successful that our Lease and Fly hub is almost empty because we had so many customers and customer requests right now that we are dealing with that customer. But at the moment, at least for a couple of months, we're not able to add further customers because this was a real success.
Okay, talking about the ULDs, for example, how you make sure that your ULDs are at the right place at the right time, for example? How you make sure that MD ULDs are available for your customers?
That's part of our core DNA. So it's a mixture between a high sophisticated software. It's called Jettainer. It's our own development and we're quite proud of it. So you can't outsource this kind of software. And this in combination with very experienced, we call them UCDs, ULD control desk, consisting of experienced people. They steer actively the container to the point where it is needed. Yeah, so they're in contact with the airlines transporting the ULDs. They take care of the stocks at certain stations, a certain variety of different ULDs at a certain station, and we make a calculation for the airline what we think is the right stock level of ULDs they need for the next flight plan period. Yeah, and then we agreed with the airline that's the right stock level, and with that stock level we operate in the network of the airline.
You already told me that you have a customer perspective of ULDs, dealing with the ULD companies. So give us an idea about what were the biggest challenges dealing with the ULD companies or having the ULDs?
Well, I think for all of us, the biggest challenge was COVID, the COVID crisis, because from one day to another, the need for ULDs dropped significantly. On the passenger side, almost no aircraft was flying, so all these ULDs needed for baggage transport were overstocked. Yeah, and also on the air cargo side, it was quite difficult. So the biggest challenge was to agree with the ULD management company to significantly reduce the number of ULDs in a short time. This was the first challenge, and at that point, I must say, Jettainer behaved very supportive and in a very fair manner. So we jointly formed a team to reduce the stocks dramatically, phasing out all containers which are above 10 years old, which were in favor of both of us. Older container have a higher rate of repairs, so it was a win-win situation. And the second biggest challenge was just when COVID was over, the passenger numbers increased dramatically. No one thought that big increase in that short time, and there was an urgent need of ULDs to bring them back into the system. And this was also something which went well because Jettainer is well connected to container providers, and so we managed to push in containers from different production facilities, from different suppliers worldwide into the network in a relatively short time. So that phase was not a phase of big interruptions and lack of containers. It was challenging, but we managed it jointly in a quite good manner.
Some of these learnings from these disruptions you will be trying to implement or help Jettainer with, for example, how this experience can help.
Yeah, for instance, that one thing is, of course, information flow, so that you have monthly talks about stock levels, yeah, to be quicker. We have, of course, our lease and fly stock, so this can also something to breeze a little bit, yeah, to make these steep changes easier to handle. But overall, I must say, it went out quite well.
Also tell us about what makes Jettainer different from your competition, right? Because you have a customer perspective, you know from the outside. Now tell us how Jettainer is different.
I think from the business model, we are a little bit different to others because our core business is active steering of ULDs, active steering. So we take over the fleet, you give the whole ULD management into our hand, and we have these specialists, these UCDs, ULD control desk with the experts steering actively the container, where your other competitors have more a pooling concept, that they calculate certain levels of stock levels of containers or ULDs at a certain station, and then you pull out the ULDs, and then you have to take care that you manage your container on your own. So this is slightly different. Another thing is, I think we are the only company with such a high sophisticated software, which is developed by our own. So we have so many tracking points in our system that we can really good steer these containers throughout the system. And with that, we usually say that if someone is coming to us, we offer usually a reduction of the stock level over about 20%. So if you come with a fleet of 20,000 ULDs, our experience is that we can run it with 16,000. So you save a lot of money. And in the first step, you also get money from us because you give your assets to us. And then you lease them back within the concept of this ULD management together with the active steering.
Also give us an idea about specialized ULDs. You have to be flexible because there are different verticals of cargo. There are different types of cargo moving. For example, in July 2023, Jettainer launched the first fully certified fire-resistant AMX ULDs, for example. Yeah, so that's one example. So you also mentioned e-commerce. You have to be flexible in handling some of this cargo, different types of cargo, and you have to be flexible with your ULDs. So how you prepare for some of these verticals and which are your priorities?
The good thing with this fire-resistant container is that they have the shape of a normal container. Yeah, so you can use them in both directions. In one direction, if you have e-commerce on the upper deck of an cargo aircraft, you usually should have a fire-resistant container to protect the crew. The unusual case of a burning fire in such a container. So it's a good equipment for e-commerce, and on the way back, you use it as a normal container. When it comes to horse stalls, for instance, the very specialized one. Yeah, we have horse stall in our portfolio, which was developed together with Lufthansa Cargo. It's a Lufthansa Cargo specification, but we can offer them this container to anyone. This is foldable. So when the horse is in, you have the full container. And when you fly back this container, you can unfold it. And then you can stack 3, 4, 5 containers over each other. And then it's just a pallet with a kind of cargo load on it. Yeah. So this is also something to position containers for a very special purpose without losing cargo capacity.
Also, last year, Etihad Cargo announced a collaboration where Descartes' tracking solution was connected with the Jettainer's ULDs, for example. This is about the traceability of your ULDs, for example. Give us an idea about how your experience in digitalization or your experience can help Jettainer move forward in that tracking solution point of view.
Our tracking solution is a very interesting thing because it's a piece of technology which is not very new. Yeah, so I worked on projects for tracking solutions since 2012, and usually you have these near field things like these Bluetooth trackers which are applied on these Etihad ULDs. And on the other side, there are others who are having a GSM, GPS functionality. So use them for tracking ULDs outside a warehouse completely independently. So for me, I have to fully understand what the additional benefit for us and for the customer. Basically, the tracking points we have in our jetware, very dense. Yeah. So to run our system, our fleet of containers and pallets, we don't need these tracker at all. This was something a customer wish we can provide that, but I would like to go more in that direction to make Jettainer a little bit more independent from scanning processes. Yeah, because if you have such kind of devices, the container or the pallet can track itself by passing by such a transponder. So the question is, what will be the right technology? And for that, I would like to continue our talks with customers. And also have intensive discussion with my development team, how we proceed with that. But we will definitely go in the direction of further digitalization, and the tracking solution will be a part of it.
Okay. Do you see there is a demand from your customers' side for this kind of traceability? And how traceable are your ULDs right now, for example? Or is there a...
Outside the warehouse, we have the typical cargo IQ measure points. Yeah. So departure and arrival. Now there will be a new measure point which is called FOW and FIW. This is a takeover from the aircraft handling agent to the ground handling agent. So this will be a measure tracking point. And inside the warehouse, we have as much tracking points and the customer is willing to scan the ULD to a certain extent. So it's quite dense. So from our perspective, I would say the number of tracking points is quite dense. And it's always then a question of the business model and the use case for the customer and also for us. Do we need further tracking points? And what is the added value of that? And this is something I would like to better understand. For instance, for Cool Container, I fully understand that you always want to have a clear figure about where is my Cool Container. So I need the GPS location. And what is the condition inside my Cool Container? So I need something for the transmission of the data of the steering unit of the Cool Container to a central Cool ULD desk to enforce action if something unusual happens with that container, that the crew can go out and save that container and bring it in a solid condition, something like that.
Okay. Another important topic that is there in the aviation industry is about sustainability. Okay. The need to decarbonize the aviation industry. And you are an important player in that industry. Give us an idea about what are some of your efforts as a ULD solutions provider.
I think this is a big advantage of Jettainer, that we are somehow connected to an airline. So this demand to save weight and to find solutions, lighter ULDs, came originally from Lufthansa Cargo almost 10 years ago. I was also in a position to thought that. And I think we've been the first provider who were able to bring a lightweight fleet into operation. So lightweight containers are very common to us. And almost the whole Lufthansa cargo fleet is now equipped with lightweight containers, and we offer it all to all our other customers. Second thing is that with our active ULD management, we try to reduce the transport of empty containers as much as possible. So the unnecessary transport of air in the air is reduced by us as best as possible. And another thing is, this is something we offered since 1 or 1.5 years. It's called square timber. You can use it for two ways. If you have heavy weight, you usually take plates of wood on your pallet, yeah? And this can be removed by a carton solution. So these are bars made of carton, very stable. So you can use that. Or even better, if you want to put Euro pallets with freight onto a pallet, I think it's only possible to have 5 on a pallet, because you have to lash the net on the pallet. But if you use the square timber, you can put that on the floor of that pallet, and then you start to stack. And then you can do some overlaps on the side, and then put the net around it and connect that net with the pallet. And with that solution, you can put 8 pallets. 8 of these Euro pallets on one PMC. So 3 pallets more on the same pallet just by using square timber.
Okay, interesting. Now, one last question. I know you are very new and you took charge only 3 weeks back, but what are your immediate priorities at Jettainer? Also, maybe in the midterm, what are your priorities going forward?
First priority is get connected to the team and to the customer. So I travel all around. So this is a perfect place to be, to connect with existing and potential customers from Asia Pacific, but also to suppliers which are all around here. So this is a meeting of the family, of the air cargo family. This is a good place to be. And I'm now flying to the US to meet all the customers in the Americas region. This is top priority at the very beginning. I have some ideas in mind, and there's always room for improvement. And my philosophy is we are in a good condition. We partied our 20 years anniversary, but if you stand still, others will pass. So we have a competition, and there are very known competitors. I think we have some features which are unique, and my priority will definitely be to continuously work on the product and service improvement, and I think we will deep dive into digitalization. So One Record is definitely something we will have a close look at it, and I want to fully understand the use of these trackers and what is a real win-win for both for us and the customer by using the technology, because it's all around. anyone is speaking about that. And I want to find the key why this is so attractive for our partners. And once I understand that, we will do full throttle on that.
Jan, thank you so much for joining us today.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.